Welcome, everybody. We're back with part 4 of episode 7 of the rewatch. Part 3 really, really sucked. Did it suck more than previous? I think it did. I think episode 7's doing more damage to me. I don't know. I refilled on wine, but I'm also putting down a base. Finally, I got some food in front of me. Pips, Alex, what are you guys drinking? And then let's get an update from our special guest, Jonathan.
I'm drinking an old fashioned with Woodford Reserve and some real maple syrup as the sweetener, and it
From
is
Canada.
I don't know, it might be American, aka capitalist maple syrup instead of communist maple syrup, but
Okay, yeah, we've had this debate before. I don't care. Quebec produces maple syrup. I don't give a shit.
Alex, what are you on?
I'm still rocking the Liney Sunset Wheat. I figured out that my big Yeti can do 2 cans at a time, and yeah, that's not helping my drinking problem.
Nothing ever does.
Oh, there you go. Drinking shandy and a Yeti is a strong move.
Yeah, I feel like a middle class suburban white bitch, but
Well, just wait, Jonathan. Do you got a Yeti for your red wine, or am I the only one?
I was gonna say there's nothing more basic white bitch than a glass of red wine, but I'm a few sips away from finishing the whole bottle, so I'm drinking water with it.
Good call.
He obviously hasn't done this before. Finishing a whole bottle. Come on, man. It tastes like 2 to get through this.
Yeah,
Or is that just me?
I actually could have gone on this next part, finish another bottle.
I'm excited for this next part because I know you have some stuff to get off your chest here, and man, I think we all do. This is personal.
And finally showed up.
Oh, he's back.
We leave tomorrow at sunrise.
Who was she? That bartender.
A woman I've known since she was young. Stop lying.
Did she, though?
Hey, she called her on it.
Yeah, wait. Oh, wait. What would Moraine consider to be young?
Yeah.
So Moraine is 43 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the Aes Sedai didn't figure out that Min could see things until she was at least 14. And if we say she's, 24 here, at best we can say that Moraine found her when Moraine was 33. So unless we consider that Moraine considers 33 to be young, that's crazy. Actually, Trip is telling me that they found Min when she was 12.
So I feel like this line we're trying to do even more gymnastics than is necessary. Like we already flat out caught her in a lie the previous episode of the rewatch, right? To me, I think the interesting thing is Nynaeve's line here, and I think what the next line is going to be, which is them basically saying stop lying to us, so they're supposed to know that she can't lie. And I think that's the dialogue we're going to see here.
Well, you forget, girl, that I cannot lie.
Okay. It's even worse than I thought it was.
Except you've done it time and time again.
It's even worse than I thought.
Is anybody else just bothered by how abrasive Moraine is? Like, she wasn't even this much of a bitch in the books.
No.
Yeah.
She's only bitchy because she's retarded.
She got a strong injection of strong female character when this show kicked off.
Yeah, she did. I have so many frustrations with this scene, starting with the on the nose nature of this dialogue. Like the fucking writers are sitting there like, how do we manufacture tension? Well, they can accuse Moraine of lying to them. It's like, yeah, but they know that she can't lie. Well, does the audience know that? maybe they probably weren't paying that close of attention. And so they write this dialogue literally for the purpose of telling, like, this is Moraine basically staring at the camera right now. She's right now, she's pretty much looking at the camera saying, in case you forgot, I can't lie.
They were playing Angry Birds on their phone when this last happened.
It's just...
And thank fucking God that Lan doesn't have a purse in his hands in this fucking scene.
Yeah, probably because he's too ineffective. He went to go purse shopping for her in the last scene, and he didn't even find one.
Totally failed.
I don't know. This is terrible writing. Terrible writing.
Same pajamas for Lan.
I wish I could.
Fuck you, Moraine. You just lied in the last episode. Shut your mouth hole.
She sees glimpses of the pattern, the future. And I hoped she'd tell me which of you is the dragon so I could save the rest.
Is that really why?
I don't want you to die, any of you. But whichever of you goes to the eye of the world and is not the dragon, you will die there.
What about you, Moraine?
I just realized something. Where the fuck is Loyal?
It's a good fucking point. We haven't seen it for an entire...
out.
Wasn't even at the bar. Like, he's been gone.
He's been gone the whole episode. They got out of the ways and they just fucking left him. Loyal walked out, realized they were in a place with 0 trees, and he just killed himself.
I'm going to find a tree. And then he walked for fucking 25 fucking miles the other way.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the chat, Schmuck for Life brings up a phenomenal point. Oil is currently in the trailer putting on his ridiculous moon shoes.
Yes, that's probably the real answer.
The scene is the most analogous to the books when they're in Camelin deciding on what their plan is. And he was there to be like, hey, these guys are Ta'veren. This is happening because of Ta'veren. His presence in this scene would make so much more sense. Another missed opportunity.
Yeah, but you can't have a male character with dialogue. Like, it violates rule number 1 of screenwriting in the Wheel of Prime.
Ground to dust between 2 forces of nature.
Hey, look, Rand has Perrin disease. They all have it.
Which one of us is it? She doesn't know. So tomorrow I will take all of you to the eye, knowing that 3 of you will not return.
None of you will return because one of you is going to live. The rest of us, because I'm also not the dragon, are going to die. And then you are going to get killed by the blight because you have no fucking idea how to get through the blight.
Which is very confusing because you can see the eye of the world from Veldara.
Apparently.
And spoilers, it's not even true. She goes to the eye of the world and just fine.
Yeah. It's an unreliable narrator, guys. It's an unreliable narrator, okay? It's not a lie. She's just stupid.
Perrin finally makes a good point. How can you be so sure?
Sure. Look, isn't there a chance that Matt's the dragon? We survive.
Matt the dragon?
Wait, what?
Please.
God, I hope not. I just sent the Red Sisters to kill him. Like,
we talked about this, guys. She reduced her chance to 20% from 33%. So she's hedged her bet against Matt being the dragon, guys.
But you're wrong.
It's easy to use doubt as a crutch. Doubt is the first step towards surrender.
Look at this look.
Pause. But this has been pointed out so many times. Doubt is the first step on the path to the Dark One, or whatever she said. Just replay her fucking dialogue talking to Swan after their muff diving in the previous episode. All she's doing is expressing doubt.
Not enough doubt.
like, right? You're 100% correct. I just love Perrin's pondering face right here. Like,
Is that his pondering face? I literally can't tell the difference between just his normal fucking face. He looks confused all the time.
His mouth
that
is
is-
closed.
That is the face of a man who would accidentally pet a rabbit to death. Like,
Oh man.
Feel bad for the guy.
how do I?
I honestly I don't. He got paid probably way too much money and to do this job. He probably got paid enough money that he's probably mostly set up for life as long as he just, reasonably smart with his money. This show had like $125 million total budget. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
On a side note, anybody watching this on YouTube, understand that I have boosted the brightness throughout all of these clips. So for you watching on YouTube, you're gonna be like, "Oh, look, I can see things." No, generally these shots are super dark and shitty, and you can't see anything.
Look, I didn't choose this path for myself any more than you did, but I will follow it because I must.
That's a lie. That's a lie. She chose.
Yeah.
She chose to hunt for the dragon.
If she knows what is right, why did she fucking let Master Hightower die? I'm still sore about that. Sorry.
Well, it's because he said the White Cloaks were right, and she was like, "You're canceled."
That did it for him. Oh,
he
fuck.
had the audacity to post on our White Cloaks, fucking banned to the bottom of the Taran.
You've made your
Oh
choice.
man.
But we'll make
Is that like a Bible behind her?
I have no idea, but it kind of looks like it.
It's probably the Koreathon cycle, which they should probably consult at this point to figure out that Rand is the fucking dragon. Fucking idiots.
Oh man.
our own.
We'll make our own choices that are going to be exactly
Powerful as
yours.
you are,
I opened my
everything
own
from the
hotel.
Four of us there against our will, running, hiding, won't save you from the weaving of the pattern. Make your decisions tonight, then. We leave at dawn.
This is the only scene where Lan acts like Lan. What do you guys think?
I don't know. There was some strong purse holding energy.
Sure, but at least he wasn't talking about his fucking fifis.
That's true.
No nipple pinching.
Also true.
Look at the slouch on fucking Perrin. Oh my, that is like a fucking 45-degree slouch.
Yeah,
Like
that-
seriously, it's like they couldn't stand to have his head a little bit taller than Egwene's, right? So the director whispers in his ear, "You're not slouching enough. Egwene's eye line needs to be slightly higher than yours. Get it right, or we'll keep doing this all night."
I think that that's probably a lot of the character direction in this show is telling the men to like, hey, I know that naturally you are a man and you have a certain way of standing and like a certain presence. You're going to need to get a good tuck. I want you to reach down there, tuck it, and then kind of crouch in on yourself, make yourself smaller, more effeminate, stand in the background. Like
Better yet, go see yourself a doctor. Well, more of a veterinarian, but he takes the balls off of horses every other week. He can do it for you.
Yeah.
You'll feel better once it's done.
Because
That's what they
Marcus
fucking did to these
Marcus
actors.
Rutherford and whatever fucking Randall Simp, whatever his name is that now I can't remember because I'm too drunk. They're actually like pretty good sized guys, right? Like they're both 6 foot plus, right?
Yes.
Old and loyal.
I think so. Yeah,
And-
exactly. More
Loyal's a big guy.
And these like
once he
literally
has
every
the moon boots on.
Yeah. Literally every shot they're in with the women, they don't look like they're tall men. Like these women are, I think we've said before that Nynaeve is like 5'8" or something like that, and Egwene is even slightly shorter than that, I think. Like, they should be head and shoulders above them, right? Well, at least head sort of above them. And every single shot we see, that's not the way it's framed. So I think you're 100%
Rand
right.
is 7 feet back of our female characters, and Perrin is deliberately slouching like he's got fucking hunchback syndrome.
Yeah.
Just so that his eye line is below Egwene in this shot.
I think that's probably good insight. I think that's probably exactly what happened with the direction.
Or maybe it was serendipitous. Either way, it's not good for Marcus Rutherford.
She'll force us if she wants to.
Let her try.
I'm stronger than she is. Didn't you guys see that shit in the ways?
Look, Brand, it's like you didn't even read your intersectional playbook. Like, as a brown woman, I'm higher up than she is. Like, that's how this works. Didn't you read it?
Oh man. All right, I think we're about to get to the Egwene dialogue, and I think John is going to have some things to say about this.
We left the Two Rivers to protect the people we love.
Is that why she left the Two Rivers, John?
Absolutely not. They literally destroyed her character. It's terrible.
So why did she leave in the books, and why is that important, right? Like, this is something that I think we've gone round and round in on, like, the subreddits, on elsewhere. Like, those of us who love this story and the story that was actually written by Robert Jordan feel strongly about the character Egwene, one way or the other, as we discussed in your intro. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. But as we discussed in that intro, like, Egwene's character is something that evokes a lot of passion one way or the other. And part of it, I think, is because of, like, right at the start, her origin. So, like, why did she leave? Why was that important to her character?
Egwene was ambitious. That's the driving motivation for her character, is she saw herself as wanting something more for herself. And first it was Nynaeve who gave her the option, but once she saw Moraine, she saw a different path for her life. Her whole point was she wanted out. She wanted to go for it. I remember being a 17-year-old kid, and I literally left town, 17 years old, nothing in my pocket, all across the country just to go to a different college. I've been that 17-year-old, and it's just sad to see they lose it for, I don't know, some shitty narrative. It's not even interesting anymore. It's a shame.
Yeah. I feel like they could have left the reasoning as well, right? Like why did they have to take that away from her character? Like, her ambition and her desire to see the world, like, why did that have to die for this narrative?
Wait. I've got another conundrum. Jonathan, what you're kind of saying is that you kind of identified with the character of Egwene, even though you read her. You read her in 2016, which I presume was after you were a 17-year-old setting out on your own. But she's female, and you're a male, and at least canonically, like, well, she's from a backwaters, two rivers, small town, and you're what? Black dude from dude from California, or
no, I left.
Did you leave a small town too?
No, not really. I left Texas. I left the city in Texas just to strike out on my own. I had literally nothing in my pocket but a hope and a dream to start my own life. And that was something that I was actually excited about it, because I've read fantasy before. And like I said, offline, I read characters like Egwene and like other series like Sword of Truth. And you have characters who just don't have what Egwene has. It's interesting.
But how can you identify with a character that doesn't look like you?
She has no Y chromosome. How are you supposed to identify with that?
I don't understand. I don't understand how this book series can reach so wide and so far amongst so many um, different backgrounds without ramming the representation in your face.
I don't know. It's obvious what they're
No,
doing with that, but it's just the same. A shame to see what they're doing to great characters and how they're just making them sad.
I like
I
the
know.
point that
And
you were making though about the fact that you particularly, but I think everybody has probably been there at that point in their life, striking out on their own, feeling like they have to go pursue their own kind of dreams and stuff that they want to do. And it's just so sad that literally what they robbed Egwene's character of, they robbed Egwene's characters of, like you said, her ambition and her dreams. Because her dreams were to see the world, her dreams were to travel, to go find herself a role in a story, right?
And knowledge. The girl
Yeah.
stars for knowledge of the world. That's why she gets so involved in so many different cultures, because they have something that she never got at home. And a lot of people have felt that way, and it's a shame to see it go.
Our families. And that's what we're still doing.
Ready to wreck
No
her?
matter the cost.
Oh God, please
Says
don't.
Moraine. You take everything she says as fact. This entire prophecy. The dragon reborn being one of us. We only believe it because she told us it's true.
She can't lie.
That doesn't mean she can't mislead. You think she just learned today that the rest of us will die there.
And even if she thinks she's telling the truth, she could be wrong.
How do you guys feel about them knowing about the Dragon Reborn and that it's not something that they discover? It just feels weird. It's just hard to explain all that dialogue. It's mumbo jumbo for the sake of what?
It's very problematic, right? That they're having this dialogue, because in world this would be seen as really bad, right? Like it would be like if you were, locked in a room and it, like the old kind of murder mystery movies where like a group of people at a party and, the lights go off and come back on, somebody's dead, like finding out that one of you in like a close group of friends, one of you is the Dragon Reborn. Like that would be that would not be something you would take lightly. Right? So the framing in this dialogue is pretty silly. I think there's just really weird blocking, which was kind of something I was gonna, why I paused it on this. So Nynaeve is just really far away from them and very defensively postured. Maybe. It's just very strange blocking. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I only paused it here for that. So
the only thing I hate more about the Who is the Dragon mystery box is the fact that shills are now saying, well, since they're not doing that in season 2 will be good.
No, you're going to see why season 2 is going to be bad. Just give it a second.
Those same shills said the mystery box Who's the Dragon was why season 1 was good, though. Hey,
exactly.
Like you can't trust those people at all. Those people are as honest as Moraine is in this fucking show.
Touche.
I'm not doing this because Moraine said we should.
Aren't you?
Because I'm convinced she even knows exactly what she's talking about.
God, the range on Perrin's acting
I want to go to
abilities.
the eye of the world because if there's even a chance she's right, then it's worth it.
That's not your position at the end of the last episode, Egwene, when you basically asked what happens to those of us who aren't the dragon. Except if, Pips, you're kind of right that she was more concerned about because she was so sure she was the dragon, she didn't want anybody else to die.
Yes.
But I don't think she's that dumb. Or is she? I don't know what to think about her.
I mean, she's seen the script. She knows that she's the main character.
That's what it feels like. She's like dialoguing about why they need to do the good thing right now. It's so bizarre.
She's supposed to be the youngest member of the group in the Eye of the World.
Right. And Pips, quick question: Did you up the gamma so that we could see better on this, like what we're seeing, or is this going to be for YouTube only?
No. So I'm gonna do it for YouTube only. This episode is not as bad as some others have been, but there's still a fair number of scenes that are pretty dark. And this one, like, yeah, you can't see any of the background in any of these scenes, and it's all just very flat lighting. It's
All I wanted to point out was that you can't see her mole in this shot, and that was a good thing. But
so
I guess
part
YouTube, yeah, you guys are fucked.
Yep, part of it is I think the Discord transition as well. So yep, in YouTube, I'm gonna boost it back up again. You can see all its glory. It's a proud mole.
Nice.
You're a wisdom. If Maureen wasn't a part of this, you wouldn't think twice.
Huh?
What?
John, what?
This is one of those impossible hypothetical scenarios. Like, well, if the Aes Sedai wasn't involved, we would never even be hesitant about this. Like, bitch, if the Aes Sedai wasn't involved, you wouldn't be sitting in fucking Feldara having this conversation. Like, how the hell are you supposed to engage with this hypothetical? Also, man, you guys are really on board like the, well, I don't know what's happening with Moraine kind of thing on account of the fact y'all have been getting chased by Trollocs. Like, clearly something's happening.
And they should be getting dreams, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank God we had one dream.
We haven't seen a dream in a while.
Around like episode 3.
I was gonna say it's almost like episode 5 and 6 had more important things to do.
And 4.
No, 4 we saw the dream.
Did we though?
4 we saw the dream where Rand sees all of the other people around the Grinwell farm, and like his hands are covered in blood, and like they're like standing around him.
Stop reminding me. I memory hold all that.
Yep, but 5 and 6 they forgot about the dream sequences because they had Steppen and scissoring to do.
You do it. Don't.
This is, just remember that this is like a 16-year-old talking to a 25-year-old, and the 16-year-old is the 25-year-old's intern.
Let your pride.
Yeah, 25-year-olds don't know shit, so whatever.
Yeah, but she thinks she does.
Typical 25-year-olds.
Exactly.
I can't lose anyone else in this room.
What if we're throwing our lives away for nothing? What if none of us are the dragon? What if it is
Good
Matt?
point, Perrin.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, Matt. That guy, he fucking sucks.
Come on. She like looks away immediately.
Yeah, the disdain
And
like
rolls her eyes.
like I'm telling you, I really do think that this episode is, I think it's Rafe getting back at the actor who played Matt. Like, it's the only way this shit makes sense. Like, oh, you're gonna leave my show? Then I'm gonna massacre your character. And he's like, dude, I don't care. I already quit. Like,
I could see some subconscious irritation, like, God damn it, I have to rewrite this entire script because you left, and letting some of that slip in. But man, Jesus, they just forget the guy exists for a minute. Like, mission oriented for a moment.
yeah,
Stop being petty bitches all the time.
yeah.
What? Why can't it be him?
Good point, Rand. Oh my
That
god.
fucking
This is
face.
that whole scene. Like, if there was a dictionary fucking gif of resting bitch face, this would be it.
That swivel, pause, stare, hands on hips.
RBF. That's definitive. That's what that is.
Man, for a brief moment, I was actually like, good for Rand sticking up for his friend. But man, Jesus.
Dude, you got to feel for Rand. Like, if you were Rand's buddy, you'd have to be like, dude, you need to get away from this bitch. Like, you need to dump this bitch and fucking leave. She is toxic. Like,
Dude, Trip makes up.
All you did was hoof banger, so.
So Trip brings up a great point in the chat that Egwene is just basically like, Matt isn't simping for me like you other two losers, so basically he's worthless. So
Matt's the only person in Emmons Field who hasn't subbed to her OnlyFans.
He doesn't even send me a tip.
Fuck.
Sam Strider says he's also the only one from Emmons Field who couldn't afford to sub to her OnlyFans.
Oh man. Yep. That's some man, they really fucked up Matt's character.
Expensive, but Matt's a cheap fucking poor degenerate.
Yeah.
You've never thought much of him, have you?
Rand.
You never gave him a chance. You never really got to know him.
And I really love the implication that in a town of like 100 people, that like,
are they trying to say she hates him or something? What is the point of this?
I don't know.
I like how most of the dialogue that Rand gives actually shows an image of Egwene.
Well, we've talked about that actually, right? Like that was something when Alex, when Alex brought up the ADR thing with Matt in the sick room, I kind of commented like, yeah, it is interesting that even when the men are talking, they're typically not in frame. So
Sandstrider brings up another excellent point. Are we watching like Pretty Little Liars? Like, why are we having a you never liked my friend post breakup fight? Like,
it's worse than that, man. This is Dawson's Creek. What are you talking about? This is relationships drama from the 90s.
Oh, it's about to be Dawson's Creek. It is about to be. It only gets worse.
Who's Pacey in this one?
To get by. He doesn't have much. What he does have, he gives to his friends, to his sisters, to us.
All right, he left us, Rand. You saw his face just the same as I did. He probably went back to Tarvalon for that blood.
Wasn't his face photoshopped into that shot?
Yes.
You saw his crudely pasted face.
That bloody stolen dagger. Yeah, the essence of evil that has totally corrupted his mind.
But how does she fucking know about it?
That's an excellent question. Can we back up here, because I feel like we need to appreciate the full extent of the pettiness of this fight.
Friends, to his sisters, to us.
All right, he left us, Rand. You saw his face just the same as I did. Probably went back to Tarvalon for that bloody stolen dagger.
You don't know anything about that.
Left us.
Well, I guess you're the expert on that, aren't you?
Nice, Rand.
Wow.
That's a well-played line.
Good for Rand sticking up for himself.
Yeah, remember when he did that in episode 2?
Yeah, and then immediately folded and apologized. Man, this guy is a well-established character at this point.
Yeah.
Nothing screams simp more than standing up for yourself and then backing down.
Rand is basically Jerry from fucking Rick and Morty at this point.
Almost as bad as Perrin.
What is that supposed to mean?
You know what it means, you dumb fucking bitch.
Treat her like that. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Get that knees part in it. It's
no.
the best.
Okay.
What did he even say to warrant that response? Like, you're the only one that ever left me. Don't speak to her like that. Like, dude, I didn't call her a fucking bitch. Like, I didn't.
I thought it, but I didn't say it.
I have to find this fucking freeze frame for the thumbnail because holy shit, she looks like a lizard. Let's play it a little bit and then let's give it over to Jonathan because I think he's got a lot to say as soon as Nynaeve is able to speak.
Excuse me? You owe her an apology. For what? The truth?
Stop. Just stop. I am so tired of you two fighting over her like she's something you can win.
All right, can we pause this right here?
All right. Why? Why do this? Why destroy the characters of the book for some stupid melodramatic plot line? Why? It doesn't even make sense.
I mean, this Perrin is dead here.
Yeah.
He literally had a wife that he doesn't even remember, and he's fighting because he likes Egwene.
Or
Yes, this line establishes that Perrin was married. Perrin liked Egwene. Perrin was actively hitting on another woman while married to the extent that Nynaeve noticed it. And then we can conclude also that his wife noticed it because his wife didn't go to her womanhood ceremony. So Perrin was so obvious in hitting on Egwene while married that two other women noticed it. Perrin is irredeemable. He cannot be saved at this point.
Oh, well, wait, he could be in it for Rand, but that makes him even worse, right?
Actually,
yes, in that case, he's consigned his wife to a loveless marriage as a beard. Like,
I was gonna say, that's Hollywood logic right there. Actually, is that he did something gross and irredeemable? Yeah, but turn him gay and then he's good, right?
Hey!
yes,
It's just shitty TV melodrama. Every single time in this TV show, they will always choose shitty TV melodrama. They throw out Robert Jordan's script for these characters just because they want shitty melodrama. And it's not even good. I used to watch Dawson's Creek. I grew up gay in the 90s. I watched Dawson's Creek. I watched Gilmore Girls. And their melodrama is 10 times better than this crap. It's not even interesting.
What about One Tree Hill?
Too gay for me. Sorry.
Damn it, we're gonna have to figure out a way to clip that segment. Look, I totally agree with you, John. I think you're 100% right that like this is the kind of melodrama that like can't even be defended for like being melodrama, because even the people who like this show, and hey, I have encountered and interacted with them, I know we all have, even they don't like this love triangle scene.
I can tell you the exact logic behind it. This is the logic behind it is we need to establish shipping wars. So we need to have people that are shipping Rand and Egwene. We need to have people that are shipping Perrin and Egwene, and it is horrible. You're seeing it in Rings of Power right now. How they're trying to do Hallbrand and Galadriel shipping.
Galadriel? Yeah.
Yes, and then fucking
Nori and Gandalf.
No, I was going
to interspecies.
I was going to say the fucking Elendil's fake daughter and Pharazon's fake son.
Oh wait, Big Tits McGee and I haven't come up with a nickname for that other guy. What about Elrond and Celebrimbor? That's going to get pretty gay, right?
Oh yeah, I imagine that ship is probably.
I mean,
probably going strong.
Haven't the two of them exclusively spent time on camera together, fingering a hammer?
Yeah, but honestly, this is why I think Elrond is actually Sauron.
Come on,
we're not getting into your theories. Damn it, Dane, we're not getting into your Rings of Power theories.
Too much for you to handle.
I just think the worst part about this is that it's not going to end. You're right. It's shipping. The writer for this episode is Amanda Kate Schumann, and she's actually confirmed for season 2. And the destruction of Perrin, the destruction of Egwene, it's going to continue, and it's going to bleach into other arcs.
So here's a question I had. Is Rafe writing anymore in season 2? Is he still a writer, or is he just sort of the producer?
Probably.
I suspect it'll probably be a first and last thing again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think more and more that this whole thing was written kind of as a collective, and they just shared the credit. And Rafe decided, hey, I'm going to take 1 and 8.
How though?
for the
Because
most
like
part.
one of the things that we've hit on is that it seems like each writer didn't read the preceding or following episode's script. Like,
And what I'm saying the whole writing room has literally, what's the proper term? They kind of grew up hitting themselves with 2x4s in the fucking face.
There's a clear
that-
distinction, though, but you could see the difference between the writing quality from 1 through what 5, and then it's just much worse after that.
I
Once they took their COVID break.
I'm not sure I agree with that because I think 1 and 8 are the worst written, and those are both the Judkins episodes. But man, I don't know. Now that I'm watching 7 might be worse than 1.
honestly
I
like
feel like-
this show is just peak for sort of like recency bias. Like literally every time you watch a show or an episode of this show, it's like this is the worst thing I've ever watched. Like this is the worst writing, the worst directing. This has to be the worst thing I've ever watched. And then you watch the next 5 minutes.
Difficult it's so difficult to assess objectively how bad. And again, like my own personal biases are entering into this because I didn't think 4, 5, and 6 were as bad, but that's because they weren't as painful to me. Arguably, they were pretty freaking terrible. But yeah, we're getting back to that very old debate we've had of types of shit, right?
Yep.
Baby green, classic brown, nut and corn crunch. At the end of the day, it's all shit. So
No, let's watch Rand and Perrin step 2 here.
Sorry, what did you just say?
Hey, parent, this is where you're supposed to turn around and say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
What's so funny?
You're not supposed to react that way. Fuck. Oh fuck.
Man, could he be laughing at the absolute absurdity of what you just said?
we could hope so, but he's really not.
I know. What he's about to say here is even worse.
It's been right in front of me this whole time.
Yes, because you're a fucking moron. Because you're a moron.
Hey guys, mark a tally on the counter. Perrin's mouth is closed.
Oh,
Yay.
Success.
It happened.
He has to look angry instead of confused.
You
Acting.
proposed to Layla. That was the day Wayne and I got together.
The only one
Pause.
I've ever loved.
the day you proposed to the day that Egwene and I got together is the day that you proposed to Layla, buddy. This is so damning. Like this is
Yeah.
like
But this here, Alex, this is the line that is giving us Randall Simp and Pips. What are you calling Perrin again? Like
It's just so hard to
another
watch.
character? Another character?
Other than the time that I refer to him as Pern, he's also just reoccurring extra.
Okay. So reoccurring extra and Randall Simp might be getting shipped too. Because what he's saying here is the only woman I've ever loved was my wife. Because I love you.
I don't believe it. There's too much.
They'll do
buildup
it.
to-
They'll do it. Just wait. Perrin or Pern or reoccurring extra is going to basically demand a beating by Avienda in season 2 so he can meet his toe and then fuck Rand
So-
in the ass.
So this is
if that is actually real, I mean, what do you even do at that point? Because that has to be worse than anything we've seen in season 1, right?
Wait, didn't Rafe say he was going to make Perrin gay?
he
in
did
a tweet.
God,
he did
He
tweet
threatened
that.
it, didn't
He did twice.
He threatened it, and do you believe that was the only death threat he got after that? No. There's always like 3 idiots on Twitter from Saudi Arabia here in fucking Teed.
Do you think the show Shields would have like they'll just turn a blind eye if they turn parent gay?
So I was going to ask you this, right? So
yes,
they wanted to do representation in the show. Okay. My question to you is like, is that something that you actually would want to see? Like, would you want to see them, take a character and turn them gay or something like that? Like
Absolutely not.
I just can't imagine. Like you said that you identified with Egwene's character, right? Would that make Egwene more identify? Like, I just don't understand that logic to me. And I don't know. Maybe it's it's just yeah.
Different people can flip it around. I understand. It's weird because I understand wanting to see gay characters, but for me, it's just the lack of respect. Why destroy? There's only certain people who can write like Robert Jordan, and listening to what Robert Jordan wrote, it's so poetic and beautiful at times. It just feels wrong and gross and disrespectful to just destroy something that nobody else in the world could have done. You know what I mean? Just for it's pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be one thing if, well, okay. I think Neil Gaiman is a shitty writer, but other people think that Neil Gaiman is good. Like, if we were to get Neil Gaiman trying to adapt this and insert, additional gay characters or gay representation, that would be one thing. But we have Rafe Judkins and his fucking coloring book and crayons trying to do it, and it's awful. I couldn't agree more with you, Jonathan.
Just make original characters. Like, who cares if the warders are gay? Nobody cares about that. But why mess around with the main characters? It's weird.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think yeah, the whole Ivan and Maxim and all that stuff, that like it's comical because of how ham-fisted they did it, right? At least that's my opinion. I don't know, maybe you disagree with me. I felt like they did that super ham-fisted. There was no subtlety at all, and it made it into almost like caricatures, right? But I don't ultimately care that way, right? I think you're right to bring up the difference between a main character with established stories, right? Like if they decide to do that, and I hope they don't. I hope it's just baiting or something else. But if they were to do that, like I don't know how you salvage that story. If you have Perrin not get together with Fail, like I don't get where Perrin is as a character. There's going to be no
Fail. He's going to be Avienda's sub. Pet.
Oh God, that's another problem.
That's where it's going. But
I guess Jonathan, did you have any thoughts on the on the gay representation that this show added? Because the Moraine Swan stuff seemed whatever, but like, man, the warder stuff just seemed like seriously awful representation to me. Like they were so, like Pip said, almost caricatures of themselves. Like they got 4 lines of dialogue, and I think 3 of them were jokes about being gay. Like it kind of turned me off based on how they handled that.
Well, to be fair to the show, I actually rage quit after episode 4, so I don't know much about it.
Well, that was in episode 4. The warder scenes were in episode 4, though, so you did see it. So
yeah, but the whole joke.
The worst stuff came later, where we're joking about daisy chains.
Yeah,
I don't know. To be honest, I don't care. If they wanted to turn warders gay, it seemed like the easiest way to do gay representation instead of waiting for Agamar's assistant or something later on in the books to be gay. But I don't know. I just don't know.
All right, fair enough. That's probably the best and the healthiest way to look at it. It was struck me as goofy. So, anybody else have anything on
Nope. Let's
Perrin potentially?
let's push. We will memory hole this idea and stop putting this energy out there into the universe and hope that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but it will.
God bless.
Rand
Hopefully.
is such a
pucker
bitch
his
here.
lips and just kiss.
This is like a UFC fucking weigh-in, right?
Right?
No, this is right out of One Tree Hill.
I'm just saying, like,
Yes,
this specific
that's what
shot,
this-
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the One Tree Hill. They're close together and they're flushed in the moment in the heat of passion. Like,
You guys notice that Perrin's taller than Rand?
So
yes.
Yeah.
I actually was curious about that because we had talked about the height of the actors before. Is Rutherford actually taller than Rand at like the actor?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, it's actually kind of funny when you see staff photos because Rutherford. There's a really funny one with Rutherford and Raginor, where Rutherford is like practically bent in half at the waist, like trying to get in the frame.
It it doesn't surprise me that Raginor is a fucking small, tiny little man. But anyway, the idea that again, this shot right here, we talked about this before in terms of like setting, right? Every single Hollywood shot between like a male and a female lead has solved this problem. Like, why wouldn't they just have Rand up on, like, have him stand on a freaking book, right? Like, just get him slightly taller. Like, those are the types of things that if you gave a shit about this story and you actually had an eye for trying to tell the story accurately, like, why wouldn't that level of detail just be part of your process?
Well, maybe it's purposeful. So obviously, Rand is the biggest bitch, or sorry, Perrin is the biggest bitch that we've seen so far, because he's a vegan and he never closes his mouth and killed his own wife, and there's nothing redeemable about him. So make Rand shorter than him, so that he's less than him. No,
And let's be honest, Perrin's the biggest simp right now in this scene, so he needs to be bigger.
and we
That's
called
true.
Rand Randall Simp, but holy crap, you're absolutely right, Jonathan. Like, yeah, Perrin is simping hard for Egwene right here, more so than Rand ever did.
Rand's standing there and he's like, unsubscribe.
Rand at least gets sucked off on occasion. Perrin is just
True enough, but that makes Perrin the bigger simp.
Perrin did open his mouth during that scene, though. You saw him close it there. He was hanging it open. Oh, it's open again.
Oh, and now Nynaeve's like, this is all my fault.
yes, bitch, it was.
Yeah. Feel bad.
I wonder if she's gonna feel bad in the next scene.
Almost a braid tug. They just can't give it to you.
All right, hey, you guys up for destroying Land's character some more?
Is this the scene where he teleports?
No, not quite there.
This is even worse. This is where he basically puts Step into fucking shame.
I think
that sucks.
Is that the wall at Tarwin's Gap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck this show.
Yeah. Hey, remember New Spring?
Willingly.
Let's throw that in a trash can, because this is about to happen.
That's all they need.
At least they got the butt plugs to put on the railing.
Lan is the only man alive that can handle that butt plug.
Perrin might give him some time.
Now,
what was that,
now
John?
that I see it,
Perrin might give him a run for his money here.
That's what I was gonna say. I was thinking the same thing, that Perrin seems to be a pretty vacuous opening. Like,
oh God. But what's the point? Fuck. Who did the set design for this? Who would put something like that on the fucking railing? Just so we could make fun of it.
nah.
Oh.
That person is, sir, not appearing in this film. They don't even have a name. They don't have a name tag. You've got no chance.
Actually, we did get a behind the scenes video of that guy.
Seriously? Oh God.
Were they Czech? I bet you they were fucking Czech.
I believe he actually was a local Czech guy.
Fuck! I knew it. Fucking dirty ass.
Dane can spot Czech handiwork a mile away.
Oh, come on. Anything like egregiously porn related is obviously fucking Czech. That guy basically probably cut his teeth on fucking butt plugs. In more ways than one.
Nice.
All right.
Nothing. Nostalgia, I suppose. The air in these borders.
You don't even know what that word
about it.
means,
Smell
Moraine.
reminds me of the night we met.
It's unlike you to dwell on the past.
I feel I've taken everything from you. And more.
How do you take everything and more?
And you can't lie, remember? Oh, fuck.
He took his dignity.
There's more to life than me. This mission.
What
Why
mission?
Why didn't they just make New Spring? They clearly wanted to make New Spring.
I have been saying that
What fucking
the whole
mission?
time.
Her whole mission got fucking sidetracked because she wanted to go chow down on some fucking swan clit. Like, for crying out loud. What are they?
That's not true, Dane. That's not true. The whole mission got sidetracked because the producers wanted her to go chow down on some swan clit. The in-world reason that she went to Tarvalon was to escort a gentled Logain back to the tower, and because she expected the totally non-worldly children who had never been outside their small village to be able to make it thousands of miles to Tarvalon.
They're just going to show up. Like, wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Don't need to give him a keeping or fuck my mission. All I can think about is swan clit. Fuck me.
I had nothing to live for.
Pretty much.
And nothing to die for.
Before you, I had nothing to live for and nothing to die for. Does that sound like the last king of the Malkiri to you?
They just threw Malkir down in the drain. Womp, womp, womp.
Well, they're about to throw it down in the drain even more, but yeah, land sucks.
Yeah. He's like trying to outcompete fucking Steppen for being a fucking chode.
You.
Remember when, like, it was really cool because Land very obviously had a mission, and he thought that the best way for him to complete his mission was to assist Moraine in her mission. That he thought, like, Moraine was the best chance to achieve, what he wanted. And that really added a lot to both of their characters. That was cool. We should have done that.
And when they built up Lan as like the ultimate badass, just so that Moraine could get built up because he deferred to her, and that no matter how many Trollocs he could kill or Fades he could cut their heads off, Moraine was the one that could save them when 500 Trollocs and Murdrell were descending upon them. And as badass as he was as a warrior, there was no way he was getting out of there alive without her.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about building him up in order to build her up. And you see in the Eye of the World right there off of the Camelin Road when they decide to kind of break off and end up going to Shadow Logoth. There's that scene where Moraine kind of brings him to heel a little bit, like, essentially, like, does your vow as, the last Lord of the Seven Towers mean so little, right? And it's kind of this like, damn. So we've seen him be a pretty, like you said, a total badass thus far, and she brings him to heel. And that means something to the audience and the reader, right? Whereas now he's been a lapdog from day one. Like, you don't even care.
No, but in the books too, Pips, like for fuck's sake, like some of the best stuff is at the end, and also why
Yeah.
we like Agilmar, right? Because Agilmar, when Moraine and Lan go down to interrogate Penn and Fane, Agilmar is left with Nynaeve,
The kids.
Egwene, Matt, Perrin, and Rand, and they get off on a side tangent, as we often do, and they start discussing Lan, and you get the whole Mulkiri backstory, and why he is the most badass of badass.
The
And then you
backstory that
also
Lan
get,
is going to deliver in his freaking bedroom after nailing Nynaeve next episode.
oh God,
Not even just the backstory. You get a setup for Slayer. It's so much importance, and
yeah.
basically, he just said that his story means nothing. He has no purpose. His purpose, it means nothing.
But holy shit! It's like the kingfisher flashes across the pond, or whatever. The death and life in a balance, and all like Rand remarks like poetry from Lan. There was so much more to him as a character as it was introduced in the story, and all of it built up Lan, and ipso facto, it built up Moraine. And that these people don't recognize it, it's utterly mind-boggling. And that they decide to instead do this, right? They've already introduced us to warders that were pieces of shit before they met their Aes Sedai, and now they say, well, Lan is probably the biggest piece of shit out of all of them. Hooray! Do they think they're building up Moron as a character? What is wrong with these people? Like it's
Yeah.
it's subversive, but it's 60 IQ at the tops. Like I don't understand it. What is wrong with these people? Why don't they just take a fucking suicide pill at this point? Seriously. just fucking save the rest of us from your fucking idiocy.
I think Alex has basically explained it before. They misunderstand like why you build up the villain and like how you build up the sort of main character, and I think that applies to like why you build up sort of the companions as well, right? Like they don't understand that being part of a company of heroes makes you sort of more heroic, and having a
Standing
villain
on the shoulder of giants versus the lawnmower.
yeah, and having a villain that's actually strong and powerful and intelligent makes you those things more as well.
I mean, and it's especially significant in this series because they spend the entire books leveling up. Everybody gets more and more impressive as time goes on, and then it sort of culminates at the last battle where this is the all-star squad going up against the entirety of the Dark One's forces, and so basically the entire thing is building and just building and building, and everybody's getting better and better and better.
Well, what I liked is that Lan doesn't level up. Lan is already like the level 20 D&D fighter who needs to get like 2 million more experience points to get to level 21, which no one fucking gets. But at the end of the day, he fights Demandred and he fucking wins with the maneuver harkening back to book 2. I thought, honestly, that was chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was a brilliant way to go about it, and you're right that Lan is the sort of the apex level, but part of that was as some people in the chat are saying, Lan teaches them. It's Lan is that dude already, but Lan's most significant role in this is basically just getting them ready to figure it out. And that apparently wasn't significant enough. We apparently got distracted by Steppen. So, fuck this show.
Well, those people in the chat, I think, are directly onto it then, because the importance of his character is that sort of father figure, mentor, like all that kind of stuff to these kids. And I think by weakening and degrading and debasing him the way that they have, even if he was to try, like if next season, if they like, oh shit, yeah, he's supposed to teach Rand the sword. It's like, sweet. We've seen him basically get his ass handed to him by a couple of Trollocs that Moraine had to kind of save him from with a few weaves of the one power. Like, he was pretty ineffective. He sort of was able to fight off some of the Dragon Sworn army in episode 4.
Let's face it, if this show did the opening of the Great Hunt, Rand would basically beat the shit out of Lan with his lathe sword because Lan was holding 2 purses and not wearing.
I feel like we're just
not even holding a sword.
That's not true. Asian is higher than white on the intersectionality scale. Lana's going to beat his ass.
John's
Asian
trying to get a
always
point in,
carry
guys.
purses.
I think.
Okay,
what do you got, John?
I feel like we're just talking around the point. The reason why they downgraded Lan's role as a mentor is because they want Moraine to be. They want to show female mentorships. It's more important. That's what Rafe's mission is. He wants female mentorships to mean more for the boys than male mentorships. It's just.
But does Moraine teach anything to the boys other than they are evil and they suck?
No, but they want to downplay. They want to downplay Lan's role because Moraine is the important one. If she didn't show up, then that's what they're trying to say. That female mentorships is more important than male mentorships.
I think we're gonna have to wait and see what episode or season 2 brings on this, because obviously Moraine is going to play a much larger role in season 2 than she should, right? And one of the things that we've seen,
all of one chapter,
and one of the things that we've seen in the behind the scenes is we see Moraine and Lan and Rand together in at least one of the shots. So, clearly they're going to be together for some amount of the season. And I'm afraid that I think you might be right, hitting the nail right on the head there, John, that I think that season 2 might be a lot of Rand getting sort of femme-splained on, what he's supposed to be doing.
Goody gumdrops.
I can't wait.
The wisdom.
You have my approval to go raw dogger.
Nice.
Right.
Pretty shadowy in Faldara.
You're gonna up the gamma though. Don't worry, YouTube.
I just mean for all those murder all around. Yeah.
Wait, there's one. Oh wait, wait, what?
Those of you, those of you watching on YouTube, you think this is a nice bright scene. It's actually dark and shitty. There's fades in every corner.
All right. Time for Lan to meet his multicultural family.
I could have seen this being actually kind of interesting. Like the idea of adding this scene in, I don't hate. Just everything about it is done horribly.
See, my problem.
Wait. You guys remember when we were bitching about the window cames in the dream sequence that had additional right angles?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys just see that previous window that had a literal L-shaped window pane?
Let's see.
Yes, please.
Oh gosh, it is a multicultural nightmare.
Oh yeah.
A black child. It's interesting.
Let's see if we see this window pane again.
Are you going back?
No.
No? Okay, good. At least these two are wearing a Hidori, but you got Korean Lan.
I think he's about to teleport. The one thing I wanted to say, I wanted to respond. I wanted to respond to Alex's point. So I could sort of agree with you that the idea of this is not necessarily terrible. There are Malkieri people still alive. This guy could be a servant or something like that of his family. I know that that's who they're trying to make it, and that part is insulting because he's dead and he had a great death. Don't retcon that.
I know.
But the idea doesn't necessarily offend me. What does offend me is what we've talked about before, where like they cut so much of the actual story so that every single thing that they insert in that was not real and was not part of the story and is not Robert Jordan's words is an insult, because you can't can't cut 3/4 of the story and then shove in new shit. Like,
would you rather have this, or would you rather have Lan and Moraine go down to interrogate a captured Padden Fane, and then a noble Lord Agelmar give you all the background about the last king of the Mulkiri?
So that was what I was going to say. If you take this scene plus them banging plus post-bang conversation about being called Daishan, like, that is enough time to have done a lot of stuff right.
And they're never going to have this opportunity again to tell that story.
Not only that, they're going to fuck Nynaeve's whole character. And sorry if I sound crass about this, the reason why she's an insufferable hag through like the first 7 books is because she doesn't get laid. Once Lan starts fucking laying that pipe in Path of Daggers or whatnot, all of a sudden Nynaeve turns into a semi-decent character. Is it Crown of Swords?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it takes a little bit for it to manifest. Like,
I'm just saying, a Crown of Swords is where they get married.
Yeah. But anyway, from Path of Daggers onwards, Nynaeve isn't that bad. So, yeah. Don't let her get laid in the first fucking season, because she needs to go through an arc.
You know what? Hey, maybe season 2 she's gonna be like, late season or late book Nynaeve, which is a great character. A lot of people like her, and maybe they decided to jump her being an insufferable twat and just
no, they robbed her of her arc because they fed her the dick too quick. Oh.
They wanted the show to be Game of Thrones so bad. Was it worth it?
Except
I don't think so.
Except they okay. If they had said we wanted this to be Game of Thrones, and they showed just Rand just giving it to Egwene hard episode 1, and Lan just fucking just bent her over and went at it, and just tits everywhere and stuff, right? Like,
nice.
I would have been like, okay, that's not the way I would have told this story. But I understand at least you're literally making the story titillating, right? Like you're driving interest level up in acknowledgement of the fact that you can't write a coherent story. At least that would make sense. Instead, they gave us this terrible story, and they didn't even distract you with tits.
Well, that's the real sin, is basically they added in all the pornography, like the hoof bang and what we're about to see, but we didn't even get to see it on screen, right? Like, I might feel a little bit better about this if I actually got to see some tits, but I didn't even get to see fucking Egwene's wet nipples from her fucking river scene. I'm not seeing shit. The only nipples I've seen in this show were the fucking fat, sweaty attendants at the bathhouse, and that was only because the gamma was up and because our Lord Matt didn't edit out all of Amazon, so I accidentally caught that shit. Those are the only tits that I saw in this whole fucking season, were the 7 tits I didn't want to see. And yes, there were 7 because one of them was kind of hidden by the other because it was like a side angle thing. But fuck me. Like, I might feel a little bit better about all this pornography being inserted into my favorite show, or not favorite, my favorite book series, that doesn't have any of it on screen, if it was actually decent titties. But it's not. These are shit titties.
Or, hey, equal opportunity, some attractive men, attractive women, doesn't matter. Like, just, it's obvious that sex sells, right? That doesn't surprise anybody. It sells to...
Surprises you in 2022.
It sells to straight people. It sells to gay people. It sells to everybody. Everybody likes seeing attractive people. And this show is like, no, you don't get any of that. You have to suffer through this like you're in some sort of bizarre horror movie where they've like taped your eyeballs open and are just looping this.
Clockwork Orange.
All right, Land's gonna teleport.
Oh fuck!
Why?
Oh god! So we went through with Dane's dastardly dissertation about different forms of teleportation.
We're gonna watch it again while you're talking. You can talk over it. We're just
Midori, he's gonna have some sake here. Nynaeve is like, oh, that's nice, but literally, boom.
So,
hello.
Just like the last teleportation, a 5 count was all he needed. A 5 count where she was looking through the window at him for 3 of those
smiling.
5 seconds.
And smiling, being like, oh, look at him in his element.
Yeah, John,
they spent so much time talking about the water bond and being sad, super sad. Have they ever talked about any of the abilities that the water has to set this up? And it's just so weird.
Yep, they seem to have substantially undermined, if not completely retconned and removed, the ability of warders and Aes Sedai, but warders and channelers to sense shadow spawn, because they've consistently been snuck up on without any sort of advance warning, right? They have not shown any. I mean, Lan hasn't been injured that I can think of. So
yeah, he did.
Well,
but Nynaeve healed
he died.
Him, like,
yeah,
right
that's
away.
true. He did die.
Yeah. He got his throat slit, and he lost 7 liters of blood.
I blacked out through that episode because I was like, yeah, Lan hasn't been injured except for the time his head got chopped off.
Yeah, that was my last episode.
Jonathan saw that and was like, nope, done.
I saw Nynaeve turn into a Power Ranger, and then I left.
That is what happened.
Nynaeve was the Power Ranger before this whole fucking show. She was the White Ranger, believe it or not.
That is true. Her acting credit was the White Ranger on Power Rangers, which explains her acting. She's used to having a costume and a full face mask.
We're too funny.
I was just
following me. I don't think you could rightly call this tracking.
Shut up, Lan. You don't know how to track.
Good thing she knows Lan's tell. I have to give every single person in the comments credit because no less than 7 people made that same joke. So thank you to all of you.
Good. This just consistently demonstrates why we bring guests on, because we're drunk and they are consistently smarter and funnier than we are anyway.
At least the chat. I'm not smart or funny. How do you know she's standing? You're looking the wrong way, you dipshit.
Come in.
No, she plans to come.
No.
Now she's super excited.
Oh no, this is where he introduces him to his mother.
This is everyone.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to intrude.
Please. Sit.
Yeah, you do, you dumb bitch.
Are you hungry, Nynaeve?
So the Indian guy with the white beard.
That's an interesting.
Let's go through.
Okay. Yep. And I was gonna say he just said this is Nynaeve, and the first answer is Nynaeve Sedai.
He's in yellow Power Rangers gear. What are you talking about?
Ooh, at least in this light. But I'm saying old guy on the left, Indian. We know Lan is Korean. Nynaeve, because of her predilection for fried chicken, is black.
I think the wife.
I can't believe they did that. That was just.
You mean the "she's beautiful"? I hadn't noticed that line, or
everything,
But they
including Rafe
they
outing
made her
himself
eat-
as super racist.
they made her fucking eat fried chicken.
Oh, the fried
That-
chicken. That was.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
I could. It makes sense for Rafe. That like.
Please, sit.
All right.
Wait a second. Is the wife wearing a Hidori?
Maybe, but she also looks semi-Asian. But there's
It
like
might be
two
a
wives
jewel.
here.
Wait, never mind. I saw the back of Land, and I thought it was a woman.
Oh.
Easy mistake. Easy mistake. Wait, no, it's not the back of Land. Holy shit! There. I think there
There's
might be a
Land and
woman
there's,
with
like,
Hidori.
It's too damn dark to see, but I don't know how multi-ethnic this.
Thank you for keeping my
Okay.
Daishan safe.
Indian dude with a white beard.
Wow, that is a super bold assumption that guy is making.
was massive.
Well, okay, wait. That little girl there,
Yeah.
she's full on black.
Okay.
She's blacker
yeah.
than Nynaeve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
And
you
I
see?
think the wife is wearing like a jewel on her Hidori.
So yeah, I'm trying to get a good shot
It's
here.
very sweet.
She's enthusiastic.
Oh, come on. All right. Well,
We're
I'm
getting close to the
I-
end here.
I'm
guys.
gonna-
Wow, that
We're
scene
this
getting
was
actually
close to the
this
end.
actually
so
is this actually
short.
is the end. This is it. This is where we're stopping.
We're
Thank
not
God.
making Jonathan suffer through this.
Oh,
Are you glad
man.
for that?
Yes, it's terrible.
Man.
What's worse is the line that comes after it. I think that's the next episode, though.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes, the tell may go down in history as the worst line.
The tell is from episode 8.
Yeah, that's what he was
Yeah.
saying.
That
Oh,
line
I
about the
thought it
tell.
was like
It's the dialogue equivalent of the Star Wars Kenobi show of literally putting two people in one coat. Like it's that level of bad writing.
Did we learn anything from this multicultural family visit? Who is Lan? What's his history?
So
What was the point of it?
The term Daishan was used.
The term
Lord
Daishan was
Agomar.
used. We learned that Lan is a good guy because he has a multicultural family, including a black daughter. And then this is our justification that Lan and Nynaeve now know each other enough to bang.
Yes. So, I mean, plus
it's
side,
worse on so many levels.
they made it so that Nynaeve does in fact put out on the first date. So anybody who was curious, but the Daishan comment, I think, is the only thing that we're supposed to take away because later
Right.
she's going
Is
to
that
ask.
racist too, though?
I don't think so.
I think that any
I think sluts come in all
yeah,
come in all
exactly.
colors.
Anyone can be a slut, Dane.
Saying they could have just, if they were smart, they would have had Agomar explain Malkier to her in that
Yes.
scene. If they didn't want to do
Yeah.
it with Agomar, that was the time to do it. That was the time to tell us more about Malkier. Now we're just sitting here,
Well,
I don't know, watching a rom-com.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into it on the next episode, and we don't want to steal
No,
Daniel's
but-
thunder on that. So, but I think you're right.
I have to reiterate or at least prop up what Jonathan's saying is, and I'll branch out into my own argument where everyone's yakking about Rings of Power and how it's fucking awful. Sorry, Rings of Power did not have a narrative to go by. Wheel of Time did. They had the script to follow, and what Jonathan's saying there is, are you telling me that Agomar speaking to Viren and Egwene and Nynaeve, basically talking about Lan and building him up as the last king of the Valkyrie, about the infant child who had 20 bodyguards bring his cradle and only 5 survived to bring him to Shinar, and then those 5 taught him weapons from the cradle until he was old enough to understand what he was fighting for. And there's other moments where he's quoting poetry, and Nynaeve is trying to be subtle, but not so subtle because she's so interested in him. That doesn't build up Lan as an interesting character more than what we get here with this cheap 20-second multicultural family fucking dim sum with a fucking inexplicable teleport in the middle of it. Who thought that this was a good decision creatively, directorially, script wise, whatever? Who was working on this with a functioning brain? That's what I want to know at this point. Because everyone involved here, everyone involved should probably reevaluate their life and assess themselves as being kind of unfit for future reproduction. All I'm saying.
Alex?
I kind of view the same thing as Dane does here, where if somebody put me in charge of a project right now, I would look at the IMDb page for every applicant, and if you were involved with Bad Robot, Rings of Power, or Wheel of Time, your application is immediately going in the garbage. Like, you are all disqualified down to the person who takes the trash out. Like, you're not coming on set. You're not getting into the building.
Oh man.
We can only hope.
The only way it makes sense to me is that scene from like was it Clerks or was it Jay and Silent Bob where they had that line about like yeah, like who's watching the kids? Like, yeah, the fat one's watching the skinny one. Like, that's what's happening on this set. You ask like who's watching them, like who's like, you know, providing oversight for this production. It's the inmates are running the asylum, the fat one is watching the skinny one. Like, that's what's happening. That's why it's this terrible, because people who have never read the books are in charge of this production. And I will stand by that. You say Rafe Judkins watched or read the books? Nope, he read Twilight. We saw it with the fucking love triangle scene. This is not Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
The books were read to him by his mom, but he read Twilight and liked it more.
Yep.
All right. Jonathan R., thank you so much for coming out, giving your perspective on these past 2 episodes of our rewatch. We're sorry. We're so fucking sorry we made you suffer through this.
I actually chose the pain, so I'm right there with you guys.
We at least hope the wine tasted good. But final thoughts to you, my friend.
The Wheel of Time TV show is terrible and will always be terrible. And I think you guys should listen to the White Cloaks and support the Book Cloaks online. The battle's not over. This fight's going to keep on going, and they're going to keep on destroying things that we love, and we can't let them. So shout outs to the White Cloaks. That's all.
My man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Well, everyone who's watching this either live or joining us on YouTube or watching us months after the fact, we hope 5 months from now when season 2 is airing and all of a sudden our channel blows up, all of you people are watching this for the first time. You know what? We love you all. Please like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you haven't already, please share with a friend. That's the big thing. Everybody out there who loves the Wheel of Time knows other people who have a similar passion for the series. So if you think you know somebody who likes drunken ramblings, EFAP style, the drunker, about why the show sucks and maybe they'll like this, please send it to them via social media. And at the end of the day, just comment. And that's how we met Jonathan R. He was one of our first commenters, our first subscribers on our White Cloaks YouTube, and we appreciate it. And that's what we're trying to do too, is bringing in different perspectives from the community, people who are passionate about it, and giving them their chance to basically comment on this travesty of an abortion, of a placenta, of a meteor strike.
It's bad.
That is this fucking show. And I'm not as drunk as I was the last time. Yay.
Cheers.
It's good. Your lighter hangover thanks you. And like you said, thank you everyone for supporting, watching all that stuff. please leave a comment telling us, what stuff you think we missed. And you know what? Hey, it's coming up relatively soon. I think in about 2 weeks, the New York Comic-Con, where they're going to allegedly be making announcements about season 2 or the Wheel of Prime. So let us know if you guys had heard about that, have any intention to look at news that comes out of it, and whether or not you want us to cover it. So otherwise, thanks again for the
I've only
support.
got my fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Canceled. Rings of Power so fucking bad. Canceled. That we are shutting down Amazon Studios. It's all canceled. That's what I'm doing.
I can't speak for John. I don't think any of the three of us have good enough karma to make that a thing that happens. So John, you are our only hope. I hope you've been doing some good, clean living.
Fuck you, Pips. I've got great karma.
I bet you they finish season 3, Moraine dies, and then the show gets canceled.
Nice.
Oh man.
That might be
Cheers
worth
to
watching.
that.
It would almost be worth watching it if they just like red weddinged and just killed off all the cast. I might watch that. All right, guys.
I've won again, Louis Theron.
This has been part 4. This was Thursday on YouTube, so we'll be seeing you guys next week. Our next guest is going to be Daniel, I believe, from the Discord and also on YouTube. And yeah, we'll be wrapping up episode 7 and preparing to finally go to the last hurrah of Rafe Judkins in season 1. It's going to be painful. So stick around and walk in the light.